Black women. I'm making this video as a public service announcement. It's really important, so pay attention. As you already know, I've done a couple of videos about the homeless problem that we have here, not just in LA, but as you already know, no matter where you are in the United States, if you live in a big metropolitan area, you probably have a homeless problem. I don't care if it's New York, Chicago, New Jersey, Los Angeles, Texas, it doesn't matter, right? Well, along with the homeless problem, where there's homeless people, they tend to collect a lot of trash, right? And as a result of that, you are beginning to see throughout the United States rats that are becoming more and more prevalent. And because of that, from the information that I have gathered, at least here in LA, and I know that a few places back east, we're beginning to see an outbreak of typhus and typhoid fever, cholera, and hepatitis. I've got some links at the bottom. Basically what's happening because of the homeless population and because of the fact that, homeless people, they tend to generate a lot of trash, especially if they live like in the large metropolitan areas. And that will bring like rats. And not only that, but another problem that's happening is that a lot of the city officials, especially here where I am, they're not using the money that they're receiving to help, keep the streets clean, keep illegal trash dumping down, making sure that that the rats are being, taken care of in terms of just having them exterminated, that type of stuff. I mean, it's all over the United States of America, right? So just to let you guys know, it's spreading so bad that it's eventually, if something is not done, it's going to reach the suburbs, right? So you guys already know that I live in the arts district, right? Well, we have a really fucked up mayor, right? His name is Mayor Garcetti. He's a real bitch. He hasn't really done anything to try to eradicate this problem, right? So no matter where you live, like in downtown, you can live in South Park, Bunker Hill, Financial District, which is like the upper class where all the the rich business people live. It's where Staples Center is, that whole area. And then you got the middle class, which is historic core and the other areas. And you got the arts area, and you get the fashion district and the wholesale district and the flower district, and you got this whole area, right? Well, here, and I got the links, you'll see the links, right? But it's crazy. It's so crazy because we have a huge problem with rats. They're all over the city now. I couldn't believe it, right? Okay, here's the big thing. They're in City Hall, right? The rats have gotten into City Hall. There's been several City Hall officials that have gotten sick because of this. There's been police officers who have gotten sick because of their exposure to rat fecal matter, right? So along with that, right? So you guys know I do volunteer work, right? So we've been instructed to not wear open toes shoes, like flip flops and stuff like that, right? And what's happening is that this shit is everywhere. It's spreading. I mean, I couldn't believe it. In City Hall, there's a video of people that work in City Hall chasing down a rat with a box. This is fucking crazy. So a couple of years ago, the United Nations Rapporteur, right? I forgot his name, but he teaches law at NYU. Well, his job is to travel all over the world to look for extreme poverty, right? So when he came to LA, he was disgusted. He went off on the city officials. He was like, what the fuck? You have all this construction going on. You have all this money coming into Los Angeles. You're building all these sky rises and these apartments and condos and shit, right? But you can't clean up the homeless problem. You've got fucking rats everywhere. I mean, he was like, he went off on the mayor. All the city officials is crazy, right? So it's back east, it's in the Midwest, it's like fucking all over the country, right? It just seems like there's a strategic plan to do nothing to eradicate the homeless problem, right? And as a result of that, like the streets are getting more dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. I couldn't believe it, man. I got the links at the bottom, right? So I know that I encourage you guys to do volunteer work. I want you to still keep doing it because unfortunately there's a lot of black women that are homeless and many of them are sleeping on the streets and a lot of them are getting sick. They're getting sick really bad. You'll see the links at the bottom, right? But I mean, this is really bad. So what I'm asking for you guys to do, if you live in a major metropolitan area and there's a huge problem with rats and typhus and illegal dumping, which brings a lot of the rats and shit, right to your local city officials. Try to get in contact with your local news stations and bring awareness to this because this is like medieval diseases coming back. Like a lot of this shit was almost eradicated, but this shit is coming back. It's crazy. It's like the Black Plague. And it's unfucking believable. It's crazy. And it's all over the United States of America. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. And, also, there was this restaurant here, like a really nice restaurant. You're not going to believe it. These people were sitting, I think it was a guy. He was sitting at the table getting ready to eat his dinner, right? And a rat fell from the ceiling right on the table. And this is like a nice fucking restaurant, like a grade A fucking restaurant. I mean, these motherfuckers are they're everywhere. And I think what's happening is that another thing is that because there's so much construction going on, I think the construction, the deeper these construction guys are digging into the ground, I think it's beginning to disrupt the habitat of these fucking rats. They're I couldn't believe it. It's like, I'm just fucking shocked, right? Because I haven't really seen it, where I live. I live in a really cool area, right? But it's like the homeless, they're starting to come up here. They're everywhere, right? And they're bringing they're bringing these fleas, because a lot of them sleep on the streets. And they get these fleas on them, and then they're coming up, to the nice parts, of downtown, and they're setting up camp. They're sleeping everywhere, and that shit, those fleas jump off them, and you got people, that are walking their dogs, and those fleas get on those nice, dogs, because a lot of people the rich people that live down here, they've got thoroughbreds. There's not a lot of mixed breed dogs down here, and it's crazy, right? I'm starting to see more fecal matter. I mean, it's crazy. There's a place called 7th and Fig. That's where the Victoria's Secret is, and that's where Gold's Gym is, and that's, where all the nice, upscale places are, and it's fucking homeless people everywhere. It's fucking fecal matter everywhere. It's shit everywhere. It's fucking piles of trash everywhere. It's unbelievable. And so, people are starting to complain, right? The rich people are starting to complain, up there around Whole Foods, you got homeless people going up there, and it's just they're trying to do the best that they can, but it seems to me that there's some sort of strategic plan to just not do anything to clean up the homeless problem in this country. And that's disgusting because people are getting sick. I mean, it's in City Hall for Christ's sakes. I mean, police officers are getting sick now because they have to patrol the area where the homeless is, and then, they're getting sick, and they bring that shit back to the police department, and that shit spreads. It's unfucking believable. And also, there's a place down here, it's the wholesale market, right? That's where all the restaurants, the 5-star restaurants, the mid-star restaurants, that's where they all go and get like their fruits and produce and shit. Well, now it's like, the business owners, right? They've been complaining. They've been dialing there's like a 311 number to dial, to complain about the problem. They've videotaped the rats crawling over the food, at the wholesale market where all the restaurants people go, I mean, it's fucking unbelievable. So it's like, I would advise you guys, until this problem is cleared up, because it's everywhere. It's in New York, it's in Jersey, it's in Philadelphia, Chicago, it's every fucking where, right? You can't escape it. Just, be careful when you eat out, right? Make sure you ask, before you go to these places, make sure you ask, how clean is your kitchen? If you want to, ask them if you can see what the kitchen looks like. You have that right. If you're a customer, you've got that right. I have to be careful, where I eat, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. But look at the links at the bottom. It's out of control, man. It's crazy. It's out of control. Look at the links and leave a comment. Take care. Peace out.